How's it going, people? xSalmonSlapperx here, and sorry about no commentary on the last video. In actuality, the next few parts did originally have live com, but for whatever reason that ended up messing up, and well, you just can't even hear anything I'm saying, so yeah, gonna have to talk over it. So we left off, last video was the very first mission, I guess, when you get off the boat and the first tutorial cutscenes and stuff, and we ended up over in the first camp, which is Bearded Rock, and all you have to do is answer your link pill and do one tutorial left. But as you've seen that before in Chunky Monkey's little playthrough, I figured I may as well skip that, as you get the idea. Yeah, we come back to town and we're back in the Adventurers Guild, and we simply talk to Badrun and we carry on where we left off. So these first missions, when you do them, when you first log in, it's worth doing it, as it kind of guides you around the city and at the same time gives you a bit of story. And it's actually very worth doing, as it does give you your first dollop of money, which is very handy for maybe switching to a different class if you want to do that, or simply switch to a class you can learn the skills to put them onto your main class. Additionally, while you're running around, you can actually find quite a few random quests if you've leveled up. As you can see down the very bottom of the screen, it does say I'm only level 2 Conjurer, but in the meantime, with the last video and this one, I did end up teaming up with Drago. You may notice right at the very end on Bearded Rock that I was in a party with him, and we were doing a couple of levels and ended up getting Pugilist to level 10. So I've now switched over to Conjurer to level her up to get Cure and Protect. Yeah, more later. I'll shut up while these go on. So for the most part, these next bunch of videos I'll be uploading will mostly be the main missions, as I happened to record them, and as soon as they were available I ended up doing them. Plus I figured you watching me just kill random stuff for the lab quests over and over again would probably get pretty boring pretty fast. So yeah, that's the reason for this. But at the same time, you can kind of treat this as a tutorial if you do start playing and you start in Limsa Lominsa, as I do try and pick up every single quest available while I'm going around. And maybe after these I'll show you a bit more on crafting, as I've kind of learned what to do now. And hell, maybe even a little guide of leveling up certain crafts at low level. Just to get them up to, say, level 20 or something. Just some useful recipes to use. So that's another separate quest there. That'll actually get you a helm you can use on most of the melee classes. So it's worth doing. You'll find a lot of these quests will actually supply you with your next armor upgrades. Additionally, a couple of videos later I will end up going and using the airship to get to different cities, and you can actually pick up a hell of a lot of quests over in the other cities as well, so you will eventually end up having quite a large number of different armor pieces. And at the same time it does rack up quite a bit of XP. It's kind of surprising, as each quest tends to give you something like 200 to 500 XP, which is granted only about the equivalent of stabbing one mob in the face, but for not fighting you can't really complain. So I'm not really sure why they're angry. I'm pretty sure we copied that chunky Galga from the ship, the cutscene, the little tutorial battle. I'm assuming that's why they're pissed. Don't know why. Meh, we'll probably find out later anyway. So quite a track down to there then. So some of you may be wondering why I ended up starting over again. The actual reason for it was a friend of mine actually said he's going to start playing. On top of that, Square Enix had a little offer going on saying that if you applied for it before the end of May, then they would switch your character from whatever server you're on, if you are from the EU, to the Ragnarok server, which supposedly is meant to be mostly EU players, and it's got the least population of all the open worlds at the moment. So I thought, fuck it, I'll join that, and my buddy joined along as well, and he started off at Ragnarok, and then I got switched over. But it turns out it's kind of a good mix of people on the server. There's quite a lot from EU, but there are quite a few Americans as well, as the link shell I've just joined recently is kind of half and half of EU and US, so there's always someone on. On top of that, on this server there seems to be a lot more lower level players, whereas on the other server there seem to be a lot of high levels, and most people already have jobs like max leveled, and there weren't a lot of low levels running around. Which, granted, does mean that there's plenty of stuff in like the auction house, or the market wards I should say, so it's very easy to get your gear, but not so easy to get parties or make friends with lower levels starting at the same time as you. So yeah, it seemed like a good idea. Plus, when I jumped onto this server, for whatever reason, it seems to be a lot less laggy. Whether that's because there's a lot less people on the server, so there's less stress, I don't know, but seems like a pretty good idea. I'm kind of glad I did. And I'd highly recommend any of you who are starting to come join me. You can just send me a tell in game and I'll get you into our link shell, and we'll set up a little party, have a laugh, shits and giggles. There's a pretty good link. There's a few high levels and there's quite a lot of low levels, so there's plenty of people to tell you or give you information if you ask for it. But yeah, loving it so far, even though it's sad again. This game is still awesome. So I think I'll cut the video round about now, as I don't want it to go off too long, and I'll split this up. Till then, I'll catch you later.